Hello everyone, you know the drill by now. This is my daily-ish video about the progress I've made on writing a novel, or failing to do so. Today I've managed a little fewer words than I did yesterday, which isn't a good total. I still haven't made my daily target like once. For 3 days of work, I'm on about half the number of words I expected to be, or the amount of words that I would expect to do in one day in November. So I really need to stop distracting myself, procrastinating and doing all those things that aren't actually writing. But a lot of those things might turn out to be useful. I mean, this morning I was setting up another set of free book promos on Amazon. Several of my books are free on Kindle at the moment because I figure that if everyone's stuck at home, there's bound to be more bored people than usual. So if more people read my books, then that'll make it easier for people to find my books in future. But setting that up took more time than I thought, leaving not so much time for writing. But I am still doing some writing, and I've managed to get a new chapter started today. So that's a positive thing. I did finish the chapter I was writing yesterday, which took longer than I thought. Basically getting to the point of Yuki getting the urge to scream and not doing so because she's in control. I'm not sure if she's as in control as she thinks she is, but she's able to resist joining in the scream, the wail, the howl of all of her kind communicating with each other across hundreds of miles, which is pretty good. I've also ended up writing a few bits which means that I'll have to remove words from earlier in the chapter, but that's just a thing that seems to happen sometimes. I quite liked this paragraph. She squeezed tighter, digging her nails into her palms as she fought against those treacherous impulses. She knew that she needed to stay silent just as long as the shrieking, wailing roar blasted over the rooftops and filled the world. Every part of her body was demanding release, insisting that she needed to contribute to the scream whenever she heard it. But she'd resisted for nearly a year now, and she told herself that she could keep on fighting it for one more day. One more day would turn into another and another. She didn't need to dream of becoming human or changing her whole life overnight, but she could tell herself that it was okay to be different just this one night, that she could fight the urge for tonight. She could put it off until tomorrow, and then there would be another tomorrow and another. She didn't know how long she could deny her basic nature, but she knew that every minute she held out was one tiny step closer to true independence. Now, I quite like that bit because it's showing that it's hard for her to resist joining in with the scream, but also that it's something that matters to her and that it's something she's able to do. So this isn't the story of someone who's trying to learn to resist being what she is. She's already done that, so there's going to be another story somewhere. In this case, this is going to be her coming up against a gang of shadow drinkers, or possibly just one drinker, I'm not entirely sure at this point, and using her abilities for the good of humanity, helping out other people. But she's got that story going. Is the light behind my head distracting? I just noticed it looks really bright in the camera. I normally try to do this during the daytime, but I did want to get some writing in before I talk about my writing so that I've got something to talk about. So I wasn't quite quick enough today. But then, anyway, after I'd written that, I'm moving on to the second chapter. I didn't really have a plan. I don't know what to do next. But if I'm jumping to a second chapter, then I probably want to introduce a second character. Multiple viewpoints to tell the story means that I can bring them together later. It also means that I don't have temptation to go through the little details of a person's normal life. When somebody finishes doing something interesting, I can skip to the other point of view, the other character, and then come back to the first character when they're doing something important again. So I didn't have any idea who I'm going to use for the second character, so I've just conjured up this girl, Alex. Alex found her breathing speed up slightly as she walked the streets. It was dark around here. The streetlights had been smashed, and the city prioritised dispatching maintenance guys to the well-to-do streets where someone would complain if it wasn't done right away. Or perhaps the engineers were scared to come here. That would suggest they were smarter than Alex. I think that works. It means that, yes, we're definitely in a rough area. She's nervous, although she's not actually nervous for the reasons we're thinking. This character's already forming in my head. I'm thinking that she's actually quite tough, and if she was mugged or something, she would be able to defend herself. But unless it changes dramatically as I'm writing it, Alex is going to turn out to be gifted, which is basically a human who's encountered an unnatural in the past and has responded by
developing a gift, a special talent. People who survive attacks by the unnaturals tend to become something not quite human. It's like some of the strangest stuff on them. There's more about that in the first book, but the idea is that the gift is more than human, but less than natural and natural. It takes a organised team of 5 or 6 of them to take down a cyber drinker. And the gifted person has a gift which is very specific. They get particular abilities. For example, in the Hunter gift, one of the guys is Adam. His gift is that he gets impossibly fast reflexes, he can move faster than anyone. But the limitation on that is that he can only use the presence of cyber drinker. Gifts have a specific ability, one thing that they can do, and a restriction of when they can use that. Which is now fairly limited, they can't do that much, they're not going to be overpowered. And mostly, because they're something that's brought on by fear, adrenaline, and because it's unnatural, it's normally based off what the person was thinking when they were attacked. And a lot of them are focused towards protecting other people or keeping themselves safe from an attack like that in future. But anyway, I'm rambling on about a previous book again. But anyway,
Alex could turn out to be gifted. She's not actually going anywhere in this rough area. She's trying to lure out a drinker. Kind of hinted at a couple of paragraphs down. Nothing to be scared of, she whispered under her breath. Just another day, I can do this. The words might have been some kind of instinctive affirmations trying to convince herself that it was true, or they might have been a subconscious attempt at a magic spell that would keep her safe here. She wanted to tell herself that she'd walked this route 100 times before, even after dark, and had never seriously been hurt. That much was true, but never without Julian beside her. He was a selfish jerk who was married to his job, but his presence always made Alex feel like everything was under control. Now, again, that's slight misleading. A bit of initial misdirection to get the reader's attention before explaining that it's not quite as it seems. I'm going to lead on from that to Alex gets attacked by somebody, and then the drinker shows up, and it turns out that some of her friends are around. She was doing scouting of some sort, trying to get the drinker to show up so that she can confirm that there is one there. The way I'm thinking about her now, Alex doesn't have that much of a direct gift. Possibly a kind of threat assessment. I'm not sure. Her gift's probably something that's quite passive, but at the same time, she is fit, and her main hobbies are martial arts, athletics, and she basically spends as much time as she can in the gym. So any normal person attacking her, she can defend herself. An unnatural shows up, she can handle herself well enough to get away in one piece. Her gift might help with that. I'm not entirely sure what her gift's going to be yet. If anyone's got ideas for that, I would welcome them. There's a comment section down there where you can leave me a note. But that's basically where I've got up to so far. Is Alex about to be ambushed and then turn around the ambush and have our first action scene, so the reader knows it isn't all going to be introspection. For this part, I've tried to get the her thinking about the place where she is, feeling unsafe. I've tried to keep it down to less than half a page, a couple of 100 words, because there's been quite a lot of that in the prologue. So if this is the first chapter, I want to get to first some suspense and then some action to show that this is a book that does have action in it before the reader loses interest. I'm not sure I've got the balance right. I think it'll probably be about right if I can cut down the prologue, reduce the number of words in it. I've only just written this, so I'm not looking at it objectively. I don't know if these words are good or not. I'll have another look at it later and see if there's anything I need to change. And yeah, I'll put the link in the description so that you can take a look at the document I'm working on and leave comments in the margin if you want. Help me get this done well. But right now I do need to get back to working and I need to get on with making a video. So I guess that's all for today. Feel free to like, comment, share and subscribe. Comments will be especially welcome, as will sharing the videos with anyone else who might be interested, because there's only a couple of people watching right now. And if you like books, check out my Facebook page. I've got links going out on a schedule to tell you which ones are currently free on Kindle. And if you'd like to check out the previous video or the next video, there should be links up here. Depending on if I remember when I'm doing the editing. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.